end of the weekend, he goes, well, it'd have to go, everything would have to go right. He's back in it. He knows he's back in it. He thinks he's back in it.
He knows he's back in it because he's got the car. That's the thing, you know, and it was always, had he had the car all along, you know, his plan and Red Bull's plan was always to kind of let McLaren stay within touching distance of the two McLarens and then wait till precisely this moment in the season when the pressure is on, crazy races, unusual tracks like Baku, like Singapore, like Qatar, like Austin, like Las Vegas, and then pounce like the lion he is on the two who haven't actually been in contention for a world championship at the sharp end of a season, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And it was only the car that dissuaded him, or disappointingly for Max, that he wasn't going to be able to do that. Now he's got the car again. Then I think he can go back to plan A for the season was, okay, let's just keep within touching distance of McLaren and then let's wait until it's, you know, squeaky whatnot time at the end of the season. And then we'll show them what pressure means going into the end of the year. But Simon, I like to tell you about anecdotes involving people in lifts. I bumped into Kip Keino in the lift, you know, that kind of thing. The middle distance runner.
Yeah.
Did you not think when we were stuck in the Haydar Aliyev Baku airport in a lift with Pierre Vacher, I think he's been justified is maybe the wrong word, but vindicated in sorting out this car. I think we should have a positive word to say for Pierre Vacher, the Red Bull technical director, and his troops, because it was looking a bit touch and go as to whether he was going to A, be able to turn the car around, and B, if not, you know, hold on to his job. And not only has he done the first, but that means he's very much done the second. And I've got to say well done to him, because there must be a lot of pressure off him personally and vindication that they're actually going to sort out a car that they had that dip, no doubt, in the middle of the year. They were good in the beginning of the year. They were not good in the middle of the year, and now they're good again. So well done to Pierre Vacher
and actually, you can tell by the two people that went up to collect the constructors' titles in the last two races. It was Pierre Vacher, wasn't it, last time out in Monza, and it was pedals. It was Paul Monahan, who's head of engineering. Is that his actual title? Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's the two technical guys that probably are most at the forefront of pulling it back to where it is. And we know, don't we, that McLaren are worried about that floor upgrade. I talked to Lauren McKees on the way, actually, to talk to him on air. We were just talking off air on the way up. He said it's a lot of little things that have made the car better, but that floor upgrade in Monza was something that they genuinely thought have brought them back into it. And as you quite rightly pointed out, Jamie, we'll know, won't we, if we get to Singapore, which has been Max's bogey track, and he comes out with another victory there, or at least the car looks very, very quick, whether he's fully back in the game.
Yeah, I think Red Bull's bogey track, for whatever reason, I don't think anyone has ever been able to fully put a finger on why they struggled so much there, but it will be really interesting. That's kind of the big test, I think. And if they're strong there, you then look at the rest of the year at tracks that they've been strong at, Brazil, even Austin. There's a lot of tracks that I think are more traditionally suited to their car that I think they're going to be a serious threat. But I did also find it interesting. I think Pierre Vacher said earlier in the week that they're relying less on simulator data, taking more of the driver feedback. I know that was a sort of talking point off the back of Monza with Max, but I feel like they've always probably done that with Max just because of the way he is as a character. But it is interesting that I think that's also helping Yuki, and allowing Yuki an opportunity, as well as also getting all the floor upgrades and everything. And I think that as a team is helping them move forwards in a really positive, good way.
You know how you got into a lift once with Kip Keino?
Well, I didn't, but I think it's the kind of thing that people say. You know, I bumped into Kip Keino in a lift, and he told me this, but I didn't. But yes, so
I just want to. I once got into a lift with former 400-meter Olympic champion, 400-meter hurdle Olympic champion Ed Moses. Rick Astley and 1996 world champion Damon Hill at a Christina Aguilera
nations that could result in a penalty for the team when FIA officials sample the fuel later in the weekend. In theory, there should be no issues, but you have to be careful, Fiona says. While fuel analyses are required by regulations, testing the lubricants is essential to check the health of the car, quite like a blood test. All the oils, engine, gearbox, and hydraulic are thoroughly analyzed. Any anomalous friction or parameter outside the normal range could be an early warning sign of problems causing a mechanical failure on track, major or minor. But in a sport like F1, where it's all about the smallest of margins, nothing is insignificant. Even the slightest issue can make the difference between winning or losing. On the logistics side, Fiona's role is to coordinate with DHL on the shipment of the supply of fuel and lubricants necessary for the race weekend to the different race locations. This is the part of the job that definitely can present the most challenges. The fuel and lubricants are shipped by sea freight, months before the Grand Prix, but unexpected issues can come up right before the race weekend. On a couple of occasions, the weekend before the Singapore Grand Prix, the ship couldn't dock because of the fog, and we had to fly out another batch of fuel and lubricants at the last minute, she says. At times we have had issues with strikes in the countries where the fuels were supposed to arrive. And, a couple of years ago, Mexico banned the import of all fuels just a few weeks before the race, but thankfully, ours was already there. It's no one's fault that these things happen, and it's out of everyone's hands. We need to find the best possible solution for the circumstances. Oracle Red Bull Racing is a team known not just for their strong mindset and for being consistently at the top, but also for their support for each other. I absolutely love being a part of Red Bull, she says. It really feels like one big family. As the only woman working in the garage when she started, she fit right into the team, and was almost surprised she did. She admits she was a bit apprehensive coming in. Although her colleagues at the refinery she'd been working in were mostly men, it was, maybe not quite male-dominated to the extent that motorsport can be. Thankfully, my experience working with the team has been a very positive one, she says, but overall, from what I've heard from other women in the field, I know it's not always the case. Oracle Red Bull Racing has always been a top team, but in the past few years they've been often considered unbeatable. And when Fiona joined, in 2022, they really were unbeatable, collecting podium after podium, win after win, record after record. I feel how privileged I am to be working with Red Bull at this time, she says. There are people who will work in motorsport for years and probably will never experience the same number of wins or records that I have. Ultimately, even if this is not quite the career path Fiona envisioned for herself, she wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I was surprised how much I love this job, she says. And not just because she's become a super fan of the sport. In a fast-paced environment like F1, where everything moves so quickly, it's crucial to know how to solve problems and do it fast, think on your toes, take the right decision at the right moment. And this is exactly the kind of environment where she thrives. One may think that, after 4 seasons in the role, and so many records and wins, as well as 3 drivers and 2 constructors' championships, race day would be just another day at the office for Fiona. But for her, the anticipation of the Sunday morning, that adrenaline rush, it never goes away, and it's still the best part of the job. I don't think it will matter how many races I do, she says. I think I'll still always feel that excitement watching the formation lap and waiting for the lights to go out. Visit the careers websites of ExxonMobil and Oracle Red Bull Racing to explore career opportunities.